have those batteries?
What'd you think? Well, since we don't know where next year's show is going to be, and I know that's why the majority of you are here, we'll start off with the art auction, I guess, announcement, first of all. The following people may pick up your prizes. Philip Thorne, item number 34, Deb Campbell, item number 46, Mike Patton, item number 47, Bradley Sugg, item number 54, Scott Guckel, item number 61, Philip Thorne, item number 97, Paula Free, item number 124, John Fisher, 183, Mike Patton, 184, and John Fisher, 185. They can help you over in the art room to you can pick up your items over there. For the art contest results, we'll be announcing 3 placings, but there will be one first place prize of $50. In 2D black and white, third place goes to item number 47, Ratchet to the Rescue by Chris Kwan. And 14 votes. In second place with 18 votes, item number 108, G1 Prowl Off-Road by Mark Wong. And the prize winner, first place in 2D black and white with 39 votes, item number 110, Transbell 2 Megatron by Mark Wong. Okay, great. 2D color. In third place with 14 votes, item number 133, Generations Transformed, Greg Sepulak. In second place, item number 114, it says 17 votes, item number 114 by Mark Wong, Ultra Optimist. And in first place for $50, with 33 votes, item number 33, D16 by Eric Hall. Which is also our auction entry that went for $250. So that's fantastic. Yeah. In the 3D category, third place with 11 votes, item number 130, Sill by Jason Cassis. Second place with 14 votes, item number 122, Botanica by Charles Cannon. And first place, I want to mention something about the 3D, by the way. I know they seem like maybe small vote totals compared to some of the other categories, but this was pretty well diluted. There were a lot of great entries, a lot of things got 1 and 2 and 5 and 7 votes. It was pretty close, in first place with 17 votes, item number 160, Steel Skin by John Spangler. Computer Assisted Still in third place with 18 votes, item number 90, Prowl by Charles Liu. Second place with 28 votes, item number 99, Scanning Optimal Optimist by Trent Troop. And third place with 43 votes, item number 98, Step Off by Trent Troop. Next category, computer-assisted animation audio visual. In third place with 8 votes, item number 134, Ward On by C. Silbernagel, I think. In second place with 21 votes, item number 1, Optimus Prime Autobot Commander by Eric Mangusi. And in first place with 47 votes, item number 156, music videos by Trent True.
Provide me a drink tonight, Trent.
In the diorama contest, in third place, with 14 votes, item number 79, Jazz in the Big Box by Fred's Workshop. In second place, with 29 votes, item number 82, Night at the Autobot, Fred's Workshop. And in first place, with over 80 votes, we stopped counting because it was kind of clear cut. Item number 148, Omegatron by Robert Hughes. Last category is the costume contest. Well, it was kind of close. In third place with 7 votes, item number 191, RC, Tracy Dietrich. In second place with 52 votes, item number 168, Megatron by Kelly Hartman. In first place, with 68 votes, item number 167, Optimus Prime. That's the result of the art contest.
For the folks who won at the game show last night, come up to us afterwards and we'll get you taken care of too. Some of you are here.
Well, before we get to the question and answer part, it's the it seems like it's the most overlooked part, but it's the obligatory thank yous. But they're by no means obligatory; they're essential because so many people help the three of us out all year round to execute this. What we hope to be perfectly, and obviously there are glitches here or there, but basically I would like to thank on behalf of all three of us, all of our staff members that have helped us out this weekend of their own free will. Well, not they don't have that much free will because we kind of built into it, but I'd like to have everyone give a round of applause for all the staff. I think that things went rather smoothly and rapidly, and we all know that crowds are hard. Also, at least the top off of my mind, because I'm always thinking about these things that
Glenn never stops thinking.
I'd like to give some thanks to Robert Bryant and Dan Connor from me personally at the very least, and I'm sure John and Karl think the same way for the entire feedback that I just got. And I'd like to thank them for all the work they did on the website, BotConBeyond.com, and the work they did on the comic and everything else that you folks probably haven't seen. So can we please have a round of applause for them. Just one final one. I'd like to thank my wife, Dawn, because she puts up a lot of time that I miss.
Can we get a big thank you, Dawn, on 3? 1, 2, 3.
So having said that, and the embarrassments aside, let's start answering some questions. So please raise your hand, speak loudly and clearly. Maybe you can stand if we point at you, and we'll do our best. Oh, now of course I could always give it to Dennis, actually attacking me. Sorry.
I have a question on how you guys are doing BotCon next year, but I did like the exclusives, bringing out RC, and what was the problem with the Hasbro people? Could you tell us why they left? And if there's a problem with that someone brought the trans tech pictures, if something made them leave, would you ask people not to have them bring stuff like that so the Hasbro people won't leave, so we can get a good question panel on the Hasbro stuff?
I guess I personally don't know what you're talking about as far as the trans tech picture. But
Well, there were some that...
all I know is they actually had an earlier flight to catch, but also due to the rearrangement of the Cincinnati, Rhode Island offices, that there were some people taking vacations and such, and they couldn't really spare too many people to come do a question and answer panel. They did apologize profusely, but it was, I think, just a matter of bad circumstances, nothing bad vibes. They'll be back next year and they'll have lots of things to talk about and say, so I just think it's a non-issue.
Plus, I think we probably know about everything they have to tell for the rest of the season anyway, other toys and shows.
Okay, we're out of here.
Next question.
Hi, just for the sake of everyone, what exactly do we have to do to help ensure that the rest of the records are created as toys?
Did you fill out your survey? Did you give preferences to which ones you'd like to see? I think that's about it at this point. There may be plans, there may not be plans. There may be plans.
Did you see the ones that were in the art display rooms?
Yeah, just a point of clarification. That blue Megatron is not part of the records. That's actually an upcoming product in the fall, I think. So we have nothing to do with that. Hasbro loaned that to us to show everyone, and then we have to send it back. I think they called it Megatron the Big Blue House. I'm not sure. It's a Target exclusive. Can we give the name? Cryotech is, I think, the name for the Target exclusive. So it's supposed to be an ice-based type thing, therefore the name Cryo. That's the name. It's a different character, right? So see? Something new, something blue. Sorry. Ideas for all the other two comments.
Okay, I have one. I'll stand up then. I have one comment and one question. I think the video room this year could use a little more variety than just Beast Wars the whole time. And also, I was wondering if you could get Stan Bush back sometime in the future.
That's always a consideration. We'll take note of that. Thank you.
Is there any idea or where you want to have the BotCon next year?
I don't see anyone standing, I'm sorry.
Over here.
Oh, hi.
Beacon Matrix over there.
Hi.
Any idea on the location for next year?
West of here. Rules out Raleigh. It rules out Raleigh that way.
We don't have too many sites in mind at the moment. John actually did some work with Karl last year where we actually have a stack of potentials. We're going to revisit that stack, but there are like 25 places in it, and it's not really accurate to say which one of those 25 would work because they're all over the United States, so it's very vague.
I will say one thing though, that based on our experience this year with, I think primarily the expanded dealer response that we had, that and some of the other growth that we've been seeing, that will also determine what areas, and it could end up limiting some of the choices around the country as far as what facilities will best fit us, because we're kind of in that mid-size area. We have a lot of, we're not small, we're not big, we're just good size. So depending on what we find that fits that in an area that's easily accessible and has a weekend free, that's going to be a lot of the main determination for it. Watch the website. Websites.
All right, what were the... Hi, how you doing? Hi, everybody. How much money was raised for the Make-A-Wish Foundation from the charity auction?
I believe it was $1,650. So. I'd like to thank you for actually doing that again.
Yes. And how much did Jamil's class raise? I think it was $15.
Yeah. That's
Okay, and speaking of BotCon now being the middle attendance figures, do you have the pre-reg and walk-in numbers for the weekend?
I know the pre-reg number was actually fairly close to last year. It was 8 more than we had last year, so it was 1145 to be specific. I know yesterday we had over 600 yesterday, and the total is about 700 walk-ins from yesterday and today. So
although we have to confirm that, but that's what we're
roughly. So we're pushing 1900.
So it's a little larger than last year. Explosive growth is never good. Small step. Anyone else want to ask a question? Don't say anything about Headmaster RC ever.
I was going to say
thank you
for making a 7-year dream come true. That toy means a lot to me, and maybe people will get off my butt now for wanting it. 2 things. Again, thank you. 2, if anyone doesn't know, Cryotech is a name from Visionary, so I'm not sure the spelling, but if you're wondering where they got the name from, that's where it came from. If you didn't know. Also, could you tell us what other toys were offered? Again, we heard of some other availables that might have been coming up this year. Just what else could have been offered? Just
what, for the exclusives?
Yeah.
Anything, really.
Big Daddy.
Anything, for the most part. It's actually. Okay, let me narrow that down. Pretty much, as far as offerings this year, we actually pursued Black Arachnia right off the bat, and the initial idea was supposed to be for a transmetal fractal. But because of Tyrannotron, and the scheduling that happened, we defaulted to Tigatron. We knew about that though at last year's BotCon. So as far as everyone else knows, we knew the two that time. So as far as next year, we've got more offerings, more ideas, and more possibilities for the exclusives. But as far as which ones we'll pick eventually, was anyone's guess, most notably ours at this point. Although, you know, we have favorites and stuff, there are a couple ideas that are floating. Well, okay, there are a lot of ideas that are floating around, and there are some preferential ones, but you'll have to find them.
There are several things in the car robot design that would be big daddy. Right, yeah, right.
That's true, but if the trademark for Big Daddy isn't available, what am I going to name it? Big Mommy? It's not going to be.
Big daddy.
No, I know. Ex-Big Daddy.
A brave Maximus painted like Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hi guys. This is concerning yesterday's Pensacola concert with Gary Falcone. Do you guys plan on releasing that on video?
No.
Okay, thanks.
Hi guys.
Hi, Bert.
Just a question about the exclusives again. Do you have any options for the stuff being produced by Takara, the reproductions, PVCs, things like that? And is that a possibility in the future?
I don't think we ever really considered the PVCs, did we? As far as, at least that part of it. I didn't.
No, but I've got some ideas of other similar things to PVC type things that may work if they let us. Pardon?
How about the reproduction?
Reproduction of them as exclusives? Probably not. I think.
Reproductions, the G1 reproductions.
Same thing. I mean, we could theoretically, but if there's no reason for it, the thing, at least personally for me, with Takara doing so many repaints of these figures, it's kind of, to me, almost meaningless to keep repainting another hot rod 5 times. I'd rather do something that what's the point? You know?
And even though Hot Rod is cool, he's still a brick.
Yeah.
First, thanks for everything.
Welcome.
And second, please give us DEFCON.
Thanks, we'll consider it. Do you have a survey? Did you fill out your survey?
Did you fill out a survey?
Okay.
Oh, just so you know, you're saying DevCon, right? Okay. It's not DEFCON. I just want to make sure that we didn't mistake that spelling. So that is directly from the script, from the story editors. That, I mean, that's why they did that. So it is DEVCON. So tell your friends.
Hi guys. We're real happy with all the exclusives this year, but just a suggestion for next year, the Optimus Prime statue. I think everybody was real happy with that. You know, maybe just an exclusive BotCon statue next year.
Oh boy, he was trouble.
Survey.
Survey.
Now he won't stop. You've done it now.
Hi guys, how's it going? Good. Yet another question about the exclusives. I'm kind of curious as to how you guys go about coming with it. I mean, I'm sure you have your own ideas, as you stated before, but as far as getting them actually put into plastic and use old molds, but I mean, just how do you sit there and actually get them to where we can have these nice exclusives like we did this year from your ideas?
It's pretty much the same almost every year. First, it comes up with key ideas that we want to do in the sense of which molds we think will sell well, which molds people like. Obviously, the molds for this year are really good because they're very difficult to get. And then what we did was we mapped classic characters on them. So I think that's just a really good move. Do we want to continue to do that? I think it's a bad move in that case. I think messing with characters that are familiar is fine for this year because we're trying to do something a little different, but I would not think that it's a good idea to just keep rehashing G1 characters. I think having said that, once we get an idea for that, we have to get an idea for our packaging. And then we start talking about colors to make the two match. We go to Hasbro, we choose some color schemes, they do some prototypes, we work on the packaging art and such, see how we package it together, how much we put into it, and then it gets married at the end. That's kind of basically first order of magnitude. There are little things going on with it, but primarily I think it's a brainstorming session for this. Did that answer your question?
Let's see. I've asked a couple of people, and they said I should ask you here, but I was wondering what are the numbers on the exclusives this year?
It's about the same as last year. I mean, in general. Technically, we don't know the exact number because there were some variances right at the end when we finally got the product, but generally it's about the same as last year. Check the website.
Website. It's over 1,000. Less than a billion.
12.
Less than 12 billion.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
I want to thank you for a wonderful time. I've enjoyed myself in Vincent this weekend.
Thank you.
Now, I have two questions. One, at the end of the comic book, excuse me, at the end of the comic book, it said to be due fall 2001.
Good question.
Are there plans to continue publishing the books through the year?
That's a good question. One, this comic will, the comic, quote unquote, the comic, is convention only, will never be mass released. As far as the to be continued in fall of 2001, at that time, what we wanted to do was say, take the primeval Dawn backstory that we had developed, and essentially that fall of 2001 is basically a teaser to say that we'll try to pick up that story with Tarantulas and Primal Prime and such in the fall. As far as the record story is concerned, you'll see that next year. Okay?
And number two, and I did put this on my survey. I attended the Beast Wars voice panel. Those guys were hilarious, especially the Beast Wars in the McDonald's drive-thru. Would it be possible to get them to do a routine or a couple of routines on a CD?
Do routines and put them on a CD? Well, part of the big deal with that is performance issues. And we'd have to go through the agents and deal with the royalties on that. I mean, it's a cool idea to get them to do stuff on the side like that. I doubt it would really ever happen unless it was something that they would sponsor as well. I'd like to see it. I think that'd be great, get some musical tracks and stuff.
As we get bigger, we're dipping above the radar. And we like kind of keeping below the radar, but it's actually, unfortunately, we're kicking above the radar right now. And I think, at least for this year, with some of the agents that we had to deal with, for some of the voice actors, royalties are definitely coming into play, at least from their agents' perspectives. The guests are separate from their agents, right? The agents work for the best interests of the guests without them knowing, supposedly. So, it's a good idea. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yes, I wanted to know if why there was a distinct lack of pasta in the pasta dinner.
I can answer that. Essentially, it was meant to be pasta primavera, therefore pasta dinner. Actually, I was going to type up veggie entree, but at that time we thought it was pasta primavera. There was a mistake in communication between that and the convention staff, and they made the portobello mushroom stack, which is still a vegetable, or fungus. But it is not pasta primavera, and for that, we apologize. They've apologized profusely because they understand that, and I think it's one of those hiccups, and I think that it's one of those things that just happens, and you know, it's not like you can give a refund on food. Oh, you can, but it's not nice.
Was it tasty though? Was it okay?
Well, we're sorry about that. We're sorry about that.
Hi. I've heard that Hasbro is usually not crazy about letting people make exclusives with names of characters that are already in existence, but we had 2 of those this year, and I was wondering if you had to go through any special process to get the names Tiger Control and RC for the exclusives.
the relationship that we have with Hasbro is growing such that they allowed it this time. That seems to be, as long as it's available.
Hi. This question's kind of been a long time coming. David Willis, could you please stand up? Everybody, this is Walkie, and we and Ouija would like to know, when is BotCon going to be held in Walkie's butt?
What?
Preferably not anytime soon.
Okay, with that.
Does it have a drive-through?
Hi, Tim.
It's Tim.
Hi guys.
August 8th.
1986. You guys get to read our surveys, so you know what we think of what goes right and what goes wrong. What do you guys think, now that you've got an audience? What went right this weekend? What went wrong? And since there were some technical hiccups during the weekend, and probably in the past year, are there any things you would like to clarify, since people are curious why there might have been a delay, or why this didn't look the way it should have, or... You've got the mic, Glenn.
Thank you, Tim. Actually, there are always hiccups every year. You can't, what you do right one year, you may not do right the next year. It's a matter of circumstances, a matter of how well it flows. There have been some instances this year that I'm less than thrilled about, and there have been some instances that I'm extremely thrilled about. In the end, what we feel as the convention as a whole, we have to kind of remove ourselves from this weekend because we're either on a high or an extreme low based on the amount of work that we're doing. Obviously, we're running on next to no sleep like the rest of you. There's just some backlog of lack of sleep for the last month and a half. I will say that certain actions and certain attitudes need to stop in general. I don't think that this environment is suitable to certain language that's been used primarily at us and at some of the staff, both convention staff and BotCon staff. I think that there will be policy written to deal with that very harshly next year. And it's unfortunate that happens because I think that as BotCon grows, I'd still like to think that everyone can behave responsibly, act accordingly. Nothing's going to work right for everyone. There are hiccups, but there are ways to express that without using bad language, without getting into someone's personal space, so to speak. The Judge Reinhold close talker thing for Seinfeld is the thing I'm remembering. And that's just not acceptable. We're not going to allow certain equipment to be ordered through us or through the convention after this year based on improper personal ordering from between the convention center itself and people that require maybe electricity or some other things. That's not going to happen. And that's rather unfortunate because I think some of the dealers that want to make it more convenient for people to buy from them is good. I don't appreciate that. There are circumstances, and I think I'd rather probably get off this bad subject. So let's just end it like that. There are bad things. There will be policy written to reflect some of the bad things that have happened. And it's not, it's not a punishment. It's just making it so it's easier and so there are mechanisms to immediately stop it and end it and make examples somewhat of bad behavior. So big S to bad behaviors.
I want to, thank you guys for getting another great BotCon. It was really cool this year, especially exclusives. And I have a question, since Springer and RC are sort of together, he was
Did you read the comic book?
Yeah, I read
I'm sorry, they're not together.
Yes, they are.
Tyrod lived with her.
So? Anyway, since he never appeared at the end of the comic, why don't you bring him back and if Hasbro still let you do a special exclusive with him?
Yeah, Glenn. Because one day she was there, the next she was gone. Springer moved on. He was the one that was ringing the doorbell, not Rob.
That's what you say. What about the other two?
Says you.
kind of sad for John because he was really tired earlier. He was falling asleep during Comic Con.
Well, then I started moving around. I'm okay.
What? Yeah, I woke you up transforming my sound wave.
Like the Galapagos twins.
Hi.
I'm okay now, just so everybody, I'm not going to fall asleep.
Sorry to return to a kind of a negative subject, but we were discussing about appropriate and inappropriate behavior at the convention. One thing I was a little concerned with was while almost every dealer in both dealer rooms was selling materials that were appropriate for the convention, there was a couple in particular that had some materials, specifically videos, that were highly inappropriate and even being displayed on the TV monitors these videos were not for anyone under 18. So
I would suggest that you come up to us after this and let us know that dealer personally without anything, and we will have speaking time with that person. We don't want to restrict what dealers sell, but if that is happening and it is inappropriate, we will take drastic steps to reduce that.
So I guess my question is there certain criteria that's used? There's no criteria that's used.
We've never made any requirements as far as what people bring to sell.
We have to define good taste for a family environment.
Right. Generally, we expect people to bring Transformers material. I mean, this is a Transformers only show, and if they've chosen to bring,
say if they don't, that's at their own risk. You know, if they want to bring Star Wars or G.I. Joe or Power Rangers or robots.
You give that
I mean, that's their own thing. If they want to do that, we can't control that. You know, we can't.
But as far as it being a family environment, yes, we acknowledge this is a family show. I was really thrilled with the amount of kids that were running around this weekend. Glenn's as well. But yes, we will get to that.
Just noticing all the mainframe stuff. I mean, they've
Hey, Greg.
gotta get their knees. Let's hear it for the pop. There they go.
Heard that back here.
All the mainframe stuff. When you've got the posters, we noticed they remodeled like the Tigatron and all that. Just what goes into that? Is there anything? Just can you do this? Okay, or do you have to like beg and whine and plead? And they beat their fists and eventually relent, or?
No, we get permission from Hasbro. The relationship develops. We get cooler perks.
It's just
This is.
you're just in the groove with them.
Our 5th year. This is our 5th year. It's a development.
I'm just noticing more and more stuff. And it seems like
That's cool, isn't it?
mainframe. The stories about things that didn't happen in Beast Wars because they didn't get paid. I assume that they were getting paid for this, naturally.
It's embedded in the cost of the toy.
Okay.
Every one of those pieces of artwork costs over, well, I mean, I can give you some numbers if you really want, but each one of those individual pieces of artwork, at least for the packaging, costs over $1,000 each. That poster cost about, each of those dinner posters was well over $3,000 a piece.
Hope you like them.
But we can get the cost, and it's a good budget.
I just want to say thank you again for this weekend. This was a great weekend. And since you guys are in with Hasbro, do you know if they're going to release the Mega Ball Megatron in full production?
Well, I didn't know we were in with Hasbro, but right now they're not even sure what they want to do with it. From what we understand, it could come out as a store exclusive. It could not come out at all, or they
could send it through the internet site.
Well, they don't have that. I heard somebody mention something about it being possibly thrown into Robots in Disguise. Actually, possibly. They don't know. We don't know. Hope it comes out.
It's a good figure. I saw it at Toy Fair. They actually had it. It's exactly his legs crawl when you roll it, and his mouth jabberjaws open. So it's a kind of cool looking figure. It's really cool. It's freakish.
Somebody have a microphone? You got a question?
Okay. I thought the trivia contest this year was really fun, and it seemed like the audience enjoyed it immensely as well. I was curious why you changed from Trivial Pursuit last year, though, as it seems like a lot of people were kind of attached to that as well. What was your motivation in switching over to a different format this time? Both are great. I love them both. But,
just a little something different. Change it up a little bit. Just a little something different. Change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
If we, just to add to that, if we actually were able to, we would probably hold both at the same time. It's just, there's so many things that we can only do in the span of the 7-8 month development time that we have, so we just wanted to focus on seeing if that worked.
And for those of you that were there, I've got to ask a question. Were the questions too hard, too easy, just right?
Well, that's all. It was a try. We'll give it some more thought.
Next year we're going to be having questions with, John's actual height, Carl's weight, rib size, all that sort of stuff.
Optimus Prime's cab analysis. What's that?
Yesterday. Microphone.
Okay. Speaking of the posters, which I did enjoy, the Predacon poster and the cover of the program book, Inferno,
yes,
is missing. And any idea why? Thank you.
Well, the reason that the program is missing Inferno is because it wasn't in the poster. As far as Inferno missing,
yeah, we purposely left him out. We didn't like the color red in that area. They forgot.
Well, how many characters did you get?
He was in the real good.
He was in the CR chamber at the time. Let's go right here. Yes. Well, I didn't hear the second question.
Frank Welker.
Oh.
Have you tried to get him before?
Often.
Well, as far as having new stuff planned that we haven't done before, we do have a couple ideas. Actually, we just talked about today. Don't want to spoil the surprise, so I don't want to tell you what they are. But Glenn will follow up on the second one.
Obviously, Michael Bell and Greg Berger have the same agent as Frank Welker. So every year we talk, every year we hit the same hurdle. Essentially, here's the deal with Frank from her point of view. Frank is an intensely private person. He doesn't really like going and doing public appearances. Chances are it'll never happen. If it does, it will be the most random, unbelievable event. Probably will do it because he's probably sick and tired of being asked by me to her. That's the stark reality. You have to kind of respect that. If he doesn't feel comfortable, then he doesn't feel comfortable. Maybe one day we can set up some sort of audio web chat session or something with him from California or something. That might be possible, so at least he can talk and you can go that way, but it's something that we always try, but it just keeps hitting a brick wall.
Oh, let's go with Don, because he's got Mike.
I want to write this on the survey. I just had this idea. The gentleman that did the really good computer animation that won the contest, is there any way you could do a BotCon exclusive, maybe like an episode or some exclusive animation for BotCon or something like that? So incorporate the two. I work for Walmart, so I don't know all the process behind something that technologically advanced between my career choice. But That seemed like that would be a really good novel, a new kind of exclusive to hit.
I think it would be kind of cool to see if Trent did pull out all his hair. But honestly, they probably wouldn't let us do it because with our relationship changing with Hasbro right now, we're getting more into official licensing areas, and since they already have folks that handle animation, if we tried to do animation as an official product, that would most likely conflict with existing licensing deals already set up, which is partially why the shirts that we did, the Autobot Decepticon shirts were such low numbers, because they also have people that, the company that does the shirts that you buy out in stores right now. And so that was about pretty much all that we could get away with in that respect.
You guys, as 3H, feed your characters to the McDonald's drive-thru. What's your 3H order at McDonald's?
Take a number 3 large with a Sprite, and that's all.
Like a double quarter pounder with cheese, meal, supersized with a Diet Coke, and 3 double cheeseburgers. And I have ordered that.
Cheeseburger Happy Meal. I have a kid, it's $2.69.
Hi guys, I want to thank all of you for another great con. I've been to all of them except for the first one, and you guys continue to just, outdo yourselves. One of the reasons I keep coming back every year is all the exclusive items and merchandise. It gets better every year. And I kind of have a real quick two-parter to that. You guys are establishing a better relationship with Hasbro. What is the likelihood of getting like an exclusive mold someday? Is that ever going to be possible? And the second part, particularly for Glen, because I've asked you about this the last 2 years. I'm a big, music lover, and I love all the new CDs this year. Can't wait to go home and listen to them. But I've asked you the last 2 years, what's the likelihood of getting the original music to the G1 cartoon? And has there been any progress?
That's a good question. I'm going to do a behind-the-scenes thing. We try to do that, okay? We ran into licensing obstacles between the companies that own it. A lot of legal hurdles and red tape are between us doing that and it actually happening through like 4 different corporations. Practically, I don't personally, I know John doesn't and Karl doesn't, we don't want to go through that amount. I mean, cool, yes, but that's a lot of legal paperwork, royalties for everyone, et cetera, et cetera. I think, having heard that this year, it's a lot of work, and I don't think that, I just think the amount of time and stress dealing with lawyers and legal people and licensing people isn't worth it in the end. It's cool, but we're not the right group to do it. What was your first part? Oh yeah, I I got answers for you next year. Maybe.
At the end of last year's convention, we were saying that you were probably going to screen questions for the panels because of certain instances that went on, and it didn't seem to be in effect during this convention. And there's a lot of panels, and I was reasonably impressed by all of it. I mean, it wasn't a repeat of last year at all. So are you still thinking of going going with that for next year, or?
Well, we did discuss that. We tried to come up with reasonable ways of doing that. Whether it was people writing questions down ahead of time and just reading them, or just walking around the room asking, okay, what's your question? No, I don't think so. We just didn't find a good way to do it. With the writing them down, it would, sure, we could pick and choose which questions we wanted, but it would lose the whole audience. The audience would have no point then. We were just, okay, we have the next question here. person wants to know, and whatever, we're just reading them off a piece of paper as like a talk show. Then, but I think the reason that it seemed to be better this year is probably because the audience figured it out. I mean, you don't just kind of screw around and ask the silly questions. Now, there were still silly questions. And most of the people, about 50% of the people that came to this year, well, every show really, are new people. They've not been there before. In the past year, since this year's show was actually similar to last year's, there weren't as many new people. It's about 50%. The last couple years it's been closer to 60, 65% that were new people. So that might have also contributed to why you get the same questions asked all the time. But with, I think the more people you get, the less new people you're going to have. So it might solve itself, but we'll keep it in mind for next year as well if it seems to turn into a problem again. So, who's going to?
Hi. I've got a silly question. I've got kind of a two-part question. First of all, the record display that was in the art room, the repaint of Snarl was correct, Alpha Triumph?
Excuse me?
The repaint of Snarl.
That was your question?
Yeah. Was Alpha Triumph?
See, the voice inflection goes up at the end, so I think it's a question.
Yes.
Okay. Then, at the end of Records Issue 1, when Alpha Trion gets a new form, it looks like Leo Convoy.
I want to give you my standard answer to that. Dan, what'd you do? You'll have to wait and see.
Hey, first of all, and into the trivia thing, Carl's height is 6'10". And also on the Hasbro website, it says that for BotCon, it says check out our official convention, and then on your site it says that you're not affiliated with Hasbro in any way. I'm just wondering what happened there. Or do you even know about that?
No, I know about it. I think people read into it too much, to tell you the truth. It's the evolving nature of the relationship between the two of us. Up to a point, we dealt with Cincinnati. I'm talking about 3H Enterprise now, so starting from 97 on. The first 3 years, different story, but from 97 on, it's an evolving framework. They don't officially endorse nor sponsor. Okay, yet they give us toys. Okay, they call us official. Okay, but it's unofficial. Okay. It's a dichotomy. It's seemingly hypocritical. The fact of the matter is they let us do it. They love us doing it. It fills a market need for them. They do everything they can within the system that they have set up within their company. And if they want to say our official stuff, look, as long as they're recognizing it and they're not trying to shut it down, enjoy it. This is great.
Compare that with something else I just found out this weekend, that their official G.I. Joe show, which they officially sponsor and endorse, there are also 4 other sponsors. The past one had 8 dealer tables and about 250 people in attendance. So, yeah, that's officially sponsored.
So rock.
Based on conversations that we've been having with Hasbro since they moved back to Rhode Island, you may see a somewhat drastic change in some of the naming nomenclature for what we're called and how they treat us next year. Take that for what you will. But it's good news. There is no such thing probably next year unofficial. You'll see what happens. Notice I didn't see anything more.
Okay. I have really enjoyed the music from Beast Machines and the left field work. Is there any chance of that material being released, or have you ever talked with them about possibly doing a concert for BotCon?
Not really. I don't think either, well, any of us, I don't know, Carl might be, I don't know what he listens for, are really familiar with the group. or is it one person or is it a group of people?
I believe it's a group.
Okay. As far as who actually does that to, damn, I was blinking too. As far as who actually does that music, we've not really looked into it.
I'll write that on my comment card. Thank you.
Okay.
Dang, I was blinking.
I have a question. Of all the years that BotCon has gone on, is there any particular element when it comes to the organization of BotCon that has remained consistently challenging throughout? It sticks out in any of your minds, year after year. What's been the most complex element of putting this convention on every year?
Getting it all done by the weekend. Seriously. Especially this year. Glen Hallit.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Do we have... Okay, no more.
Let's give a behind the scenes again. Because of the closing of the Cincinnati office and the Rhode Island office, there was some concern and some awareness brought to the management at Hasbro, the upper levels, that seemed to not understand what BotCon was about because the Cincinnati office primarily dealt with us. It wasn't until probably 6 weeks ago that they allowed the merchandise that we had planned to go through because they just didn't know. So, all that merchandise was done in 4 weeks. Tigatron came in a week and a half ago. RC came in Monday night. Don, Scott Cradle, Dennis Davidson, Melissa Spade, Kim Cradle, a bunch of people from my place of primary office, and a bunch of people that actually helped on the package, Rob Gebracht. They came down and we packed straight to make these things available by the time we had to leave. Well, we were meant to leave Tuesday morning. We ended up leaving late Wednesday night, Dennis and I, with a Penske truck. We did all of our C's in 2 days. Let's have a round of applause for the people. My one comment for that is, please, 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 take this the right way. Please do not ever doubt the commitment that we have towards getting you folks your money's worth, quality stuff, on time. It'll happen any way possible. And to that end, I think everyone, even though he's not here, Joe Matico and the Hasbro Toy Group deserves every round of thanks for actually helping us.
First off, this is my first BotCon, and I've had a blast.
Welcome.
I have 2 questions. Is there any chance of we're going to get any more exclusives coming up, records as exclusives next year? And second question, is there any chance in hell we're going to get Unicron as an exclusive?
Well, the records, use the survey that you got. I mean, I think somebody else had touched on that, but it's a possibility. It depends on what molds they still continue making available and everything. And as far as Unicron goes,
there was one sold over here. There was one prototype.
The original prototype was sold this weekend, but if we did one, it would be different than that.
The injector.
No! One face.
A retract? The comment I want to make on that is we could take any toy and call it Unicron, but it's not the same if it's not a planet-looking thing with a ring.
Make an Orson Welles figure.
Yes.
We've talked a little bit about what's okay for the room and what's not really okay. I've got a specific question. Are raffles cool? I had a little raffle on the table and a couple people told me it was illegal or something, which is news to me. Any idea what the deal is with that? I know some other people did too.
As far as selling practices go, we move it around state to state, and if it happens to be illegal in a certain state, we don't try and make ourselves aware of every possible law in the state. So I don't, North Carolina might have something against that. I don't know, but as far as having raffles or your own little mini auctions, we don't have any problem with that.
Thanks.
Actually, the comment that I'd like to add to that is, as long as it doesn't get out of hand.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say that this is my third BotCon in a row, and it's by far the best. And just whatever you're doing to keep making it better, just keep going with that. And I wanted to ask you, in the dealer room, there were some instances of dealers, you mentioned before the Unicron prototype that had, there were a couple of other prototypes on display. There was a Air Attack Optimus Primal and some concept art for the non-existent Trans-Tech line. Those were on display for a little while, and then they kind of like vanished. And we started to hear things like people from Hasbro asked them to kind of be put away and not on display anymore. Do you know anything about that, or did that go through you, or did it just not be better?
We mentioned that, actually touched on that before. We didn't really know anything about that, but it kind of adds mystery to the show.
We weren't consulted at all if it was from Hasbro or anything like that as far as going off. So that was something separate. Right there.
Okay, first off, I wanted to say thank you for a totally awesome convention. Love the RC toy. Got 3 questions. The Hasbro panel, what exactly happened? All I heard was it was canceled. I don't know why. Second question, Dan Gilbison, will you please, I will beg if necessary, will you please get him? I would die if you got him. And third, would you guys mind autographing my program? I would really like to get your autographs on this.
Yeah, just to go in reverse order. Yeah, just bring that up afterwards.
Okay.
Dan Gilbison, we did contact him. We could. We could. See if he's interested. Oh yeah, the Hasbro thing. We actually touched on that earlier. There was a couple. It basically boiled down to scheduling, as far as personnel moving from the Cincinnati to Rhode Island and catching flights, being available. But hopefully they'll be able to do one next year.
Just so you know also, as just another thing, we attempted to get the first episode of Robots in Skies. It was not completed in time. They needed to add sound effects. So if it was completed in time, we would have had it, but because it didn't, you have to wait until Fox. So we tried, almost had it, scheduled.
But we don't know who any of the voices are, so don't ask.
Bye.
Bye, Gary. You put my finger next year.
Sort of going back to that Inferno thing, if you look, the Scorponok's tail on both the poster and the book was missing. Can you explain that?
Were you around when we talked about the fact that there were 20 million polygons and 80 million polygons?
Alright.
That that tail probably had 5 polygons. I would get rid of the tail. Instead of it, well, the Inferno, they probably had it was a mistake.
And
I don't even know
my
where
other
you're
question is, if Hasbro was here, I was going to ask him about the Scorponok transmittal because it was never released and he was becoming a transmittal when he died. Would you ever do an exclusive like that? No, that's not that great of a toy though.
Your question was?
Because he died in an episode,
okay,
and he thrown off that he was becoming transmetal.
Okay.
Would you ever consider doing like an exclusive for it?
What would you use?
I don't know.
You would be.
What if there's like a Japanese, like, scorpion or something, you know, just do it.
It's only something about the scorpions. Transmetal scorpion, it's a certain design. We don't want to really violate the transmetal scorpion by not having the transmetal scorpion use. Right? I mean, it's a good question. It's a good comment. It's a good question. But, I mean, we're restricted to what we can unless you make a new transmetal toy of a scorpion, which probably will never happen. At least not next year.
Dude, you just take Quick Strike and remold into the tail. That's cool. We can call any toy Quick or Scorpidon. Next question.
Hi guys. First off, I'd like to thank you for putting on this great weekend once again. Just a quick question in regards to the exclusives. Has anything been done regarding certain exclusives, again, appearing on eBay before the convention?
What do you mean?
Do you want me to name names?
You mean this Milwaukee?
Yeah.
The things that he has are not right. People can say anything they want. I know upon very good authority that the stuff is not right. I will not go as far as to say the next logical step is not right, but it's bad things that he's doing. And I think it's a disappointment, and I think it's a bad thing for the convention goers who want that surprise to actually encourage that sort of stuff. My suggestion is if that stuff goes on, and it's, and it's not packaged, chances are it may be ours, but even if it's not and it's Hasbro's, I wouldn't encourage it by bidding on it. He should be really discouraged by using peer pressure, and then it'll stop. One of my personal things that I like about the show, about doing exclusives and the packaging, is seeing everyone kind of really get jazzed up about it. I mean, that's what feeds us. Having that is not feeding us. That's robbing the surprise and what we get out of it. I don't think we're selfish, but what we get out of it is gratification that you folks are happy. By having someone already know that Transmetal Tigertron is being made instead of just surprising everyone saying, oh my God, they got X9, that was lost. I blame him. And that's good, but we had to buy it to get it off. I don't want to keep buying all the stolen stuff on the net. So discourage it when you have a chance.
Please.
Via email, via email, or just don't bid.
No. Go ahead, you were starting to ask something.
Someone have an additional comment?
Okay. Anyway.
Back here, guys, again. Speaking of surprises, it's about Rick Berger that was kind of announced beforehand. I happen to think that it was a good thing. I know you guys like surprises, and I agree with you about the toys. But in the case of the guest, I had brought my trading cards and my Grimlock instructions to have signed, and that's what I really wanted signed. If it's just a program, I don't really like that as much as having something that I bring, like say trading cards and things like that. Are you planning to have any more? If there's a guest that you get at the last minute or something as a surprise for the day, because I personally would like to know in advance.
Sure, we can let you know when we'll have a surprise guest.
That's what I mean.
Hi, how's it going? I'd just like to say this has been a great weekend. This is our first BotCon, and I'm just glad to hear that we had Transformers. I was looking forward to seeing the Transformers movie on a theater screen because I missed it when I was a young kid. It was kind of a childhood revisited. And what I'm curious about is one feature I've heard was Transformers 5 Faces of Darkness. I'm just curious, have you all heard of it? And if so, can we possibly get it shown at a future BotCon?
I've got that video.
Don't look at me. Right now.
Use your survey form. Well, there is no theatrical version of that, just so you know.
And I just want to drop in a little tidbit. The Quintessons, wait for it. Read your comic book, guys. I'm disappointed in every one of you. Jeez. Then wait for I liked the Space Pirates. I thought they were great. I thought it was a good story in the UK. There you go. Mr. Yellow. Right here.
Yes. Again, thanks for a good weekend. Although throughout the weekend I've heard a rumor that you're looking to find a permanent location for future BotCons. Is there any truth to this rumor?
Again, it's the mystery that we like about this show. It could happen. It could happen if we find a place that has enough growth potential and works. It could happen.
But we won't announce, if we are looking for one, we won't announce it because, suggestions aside, I'm glad no one actually suggested putting it in our backyard or something. But, when we decide, we'll decide.
Yeah, if it does happen, we'll let you know.
Oh, come on. This is going to end real quick.
Right here.
Just, what's the deal with the green rangers? On the internet, said that it came from the Hasbro store. You guys have one?
As far as I know, there is, quote, no Hasbro store, although I don't know. I mean, this is the in with Hasbro thing. There may be one, but as far as it's an early production prototype that went through, and they stopped it after a period of time because they thought the colors looked better when they were released the other one. Although, if you really noodled it through, if that was the case and it was the first one, why didn't they art match it? There's mystery around that, but it does exist. Pardon? He talked about the green Ramulus that you saw in the art display room. And, well, that's correct. We knew of its existence when we thought about the comic, and instead of just using Ramulus as the little cappuccino color, we decided to use that. And it was actually a good red herring, as it turns out, as well. So.
Frank, you got a question this year? Hi, Frank. Yeah. Got any questions this year? Okay. We got one more. Wait.
Never mind, Frank. Record. Sorry. We're still here for you.
Okay. What made you possess to have the convention here at this hotel, this town, and this convention center? Because the town sucks.
We talked about disrespect.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was disrespectful.
Okay, it's rightly in between. I'm just asking.
It's a college town, so obviously it's down. Space, price, availability in the South. Those were the four things we were looking for. We looked at Atlanta and all the other places in the South that we thought would be a good place. But the other ones were either too expensive or not available. I thought this was a fine place. If it's bar none, were excellent as far as everything well, that's not going to be a criteria from here on out, I tell you.
There's a good here. The question is, by bundling the comic with the toy, were we able to print more or make it a better price?
We always lose money on the comic book, which is kind of weird. Comic books are not easy to make or print or do. When we did last year's, the comic book itself had to pay for itself. That's why it was $10. And even then, they really didn't sell enough to make up for it, so we lost a lot of money on it. This year, what we thought was, well, we figured everyone would buy the toys. So why not pack the comic with the toys, bump it up a little bit so you've made a little bit of money on the comic book sale, so it's marginal, and have it pay for itself, and then a little bit. And then everything else is gravy that sells for the extra copies, because you can do a minimum of 3,000 runs. And I think it worked well. I thought it was a smart move that we did. And now, at least, we're comfortable in saying we can do a comic, this is how we can do it.
Yes, we have a question right here. Again, like I mentioned before, it was about the same as we had last year. And we don't really know the exact numbers because of some last minute production variation that they had. But it's comparable to last year. Hey, we have a microphone. Walkie.
Hi. I just have to say I love the comic, especially at the beginning with the exploding nightbirds everywhere. That was the best thing ever.
Thank you,
Daniel.
Thank you.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
I know you said on the webpage about the name tags of people's actual names, like something about identification purposes for the staff. I was wondering if you could go into that a little more. Like I know some people didn't really like it, but you know.
Again, that was something that we, it was kind of an experiment this year, but it also has some practical purposes as far as people actually knowing who you are, for possible necessary identification purposes. And as far as record keeping goes, every one of you guys who pre-registered, I type in all your information into a database, and I have to, if you put in the nickname, sometimes last year they got a little out of control on a couple of them. As far as keeping track of them and having them make sense, there were some that just didn't think were really appropriate, really. As far as, and then you have, I don't know, I'm not really explaining this well at all, so Glen's going to step in and finish it up for me.
Because the numbers are increasing every year, we have to streamline our production process at homes to make it easier for us to process all names. Doing that extra name may not seem like a lot, but it's another concern to worry about. Did you spell, we had some spelling errors on just some of the names, but you didn't say Dudley the death guy, instead of Dudley the death guy, with a space between. We don't want to get into that. Real names are important to us, so we want to use real names.
Well, another thing, you might have noticed that you had the state that you're from. That was another experiment. We decided to do that as a possible way. Oh, you're also from Ohio. Cool, I'm from Ohio too. Might meet a couple new people that way. So it's kind of use your survey again, my suggestion.
Hi guys. Actually, to start off, to build on the last question, how many Autobot X-42s or something like that did you have last year? Are those nicknames? Yeah, Optimus.
Quite a few.
That's
really.
Probably one of the. And what was my other one? Do you have any idea what the life expectancy on those RC chips is? Because
1,200.
1,200.
I
think I've used most of mine up last night already. Just walking.
Oh no, because
Some of them don't stop.
They do use a normal watch battery, but I think you may have to dismantle a lot of things to get to it. I would count it as a blessing that it's quiet.
There's a couple over here. You have the hat. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is my first BotCon, and I want to tell you that you guys did a great job, and I'm happy to be here. One question though, you have a blue Megatron sitting with the wreckers, and someone pointed out to me that if you look close enough in the comic book, there's a shot of Megatron on someone's computer. Is it possible we can get the blue Megatron as exclusive online?
I think you're misinterpreting. There is no shot of Megatron on a computer. You might be mistaking it for someone else. That Megatron, I think, is going to be called, we said this before, Cryotech, and it's going to be a Target exclusive in the fall, I believe.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mike.
I just want to point out in regards to the name badge question about the no nickname. I mean, I didn't use it personally, but there was space to put your own nickname if you wanted to. And if you continue to do that, I don't think it's really a problem.
Yeah, and that was intentional
Yeah,
to allow for people.
Good question.
Back row.
Is there like a place where we can find our contest results for those of us who didn't get here in time to hear them?
Oh yeah, come on up after we're done, and then we can give it to you again.
Guys, I'm just curious. I missed about the first half hour, so apologize if you've already said this. I'm curious to know the totals for pre-reg and then after walk-ins.
Yeah, the pre-reg was essentially about the same as last year. It was 1145, and there were roughly about 700, between about 650 and 700 walk-ins. And to touch on this, actually, I forgot to do it last time. I had one of the dealers mention to me over the course of the weekend that he thought this was a really good choice of a town, and I've kind of noticed this too, as far as North Carolina being an unassuming hotbed of Transformers fans. There seems to be a high concentration of them here, even for those of you who aren't living in North Carolina anymore. But turns out that it was a fairly decent place to hold it. I think the walk-in response was incredible. So I think that attests to that.
Now, I know Susan Blue didn't get to go because she had work and stuff, and I really wanted to meet her because, you know, I've heard a lot about her, and I've looked at all the credits like kid shows, and she's been in a lot. I have two questions about that. Are you going to try and get her back next year, and was it intentional to do the RC figure this year because of her?
The RC, as far as having RC with the voice actress that did it, I think that was, I don't know if we really planned to do that, did we? Maybe Glenn did. Glenn planned to do that. And it would have been cool, I think. But he wants to have her back because he misses her.
What about getting her back?
We'll try. We'll try. It depends. She's a busy woman.
You know how many shows she works on? Because she works on like 20 or something, I think.
Yeah, she's pretty busy.
Hello.
Back to you.
Well, everyone else has thanked you so many times, but I don't think we can do it enough. But I'm going to make that short. On your website, are you going to have maybe an email newsletter so that people can find out, like, very quickly, instead of having to check the website every week, you know, where the next BotCon is going to be, or, you know, when the next installment of the record is on the site?
That's a good question. Logistically, it's kind of difficult. With all the new people that we've gotten records of this year, there's now over 5,000 people in my database. That'd be a big mailing list. So I think it's...
Can you imagine a convention with 5,000 people here? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
So...
Well, I can help you with it if you want. I can even host the mailing list software, so if you need it.
Okay.
We can do it later.
Okay, did you have a second question?
No, that was it.
Okay, but for right now, at least our primary vehicle will just be posting updates on the website. I don't know that we really have anything that's urgent news that you might miss if you don't check it every week or two. But after the convention, at least just to give you an idea of what we're going to update, we'll have the merchandise that is left over. We'll be updating as far as that goes, and then there probably won't be that much to see on there for a while, unless Tengu's got some stuff that he's going to be doing on his
I was
side.
making Google eyes at Dennis. I was like, well,
Oh, you're so cute. But it'll probably be kind of quiet on the website for a little while until later this fall when we get some more information about where we're going to have it next.
Thanks again for everything.
Hi, Mark.
But I believe the time has come to extend it to a full 3 or 4 days.
On a week.
we're considering Alaska, the land where the sun never sets, so you can compress it all in like one day.
I just spend too much time waiting in line for the voice actors while you end up missing other stuff or meeting with other people. I think it's about time.
Clone yourself.
This is for John.
Okay,
just a question. I know y'all probably need several weeks, if not a full month or more of downtime before y'all jump back in it, because I know what y'all go through to do this. What can we do as fans to help you? I mean, what do you want us to do to make it smooth for you? Like, for example, tech specs. This is just I can help write tech specs. Someone else could do intelligence or statistics. Someone else could do, something like that. Just to try to divvy up the work so it's a lot less load on y'all.
I have a simple answer to part of that. Read the FAQ for any simple questions, because my brother answers a lot of the emails and he works quite a bit. And I don't know, it's just read the FAQ for the first part of it. For the easy questions, I don't know, where it's going to be, when it's going to be. I have a lot of people come up here this weekend and say, where's this panel? Well, it's in the panel, it says on the schedule. What time is this? Well, it says on the schedule, it's right over there. But you can pick up or it's printed in the program. Just little simple things like that. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind answering those questions, but here's why I've been speaking so much about this in the course.
But as far as, and that's true. As far as creative stuff goes, I think as the primary organizers, we like to have a single vision of where we want stuff to go. And the phrase of too many cooks in the kitchen comes to mind. But I think, we can use your survey. You can use that as suggestions as far as what you'd like to see, as far as the actual technical things of the manual tasks of getting it done. I think we've got a fairly good handle on getting that done. We just get a little stressed at the end. It's all timing, really.
Also, John and Karl live in Indiana, I live in Rochester. So the three of us working together is really gelling better and better every year.
Your phone bill still sucks, though.
Yeah, my phone bill is very horrible. And, my modem connection is kind of slow as well, but we'll change that after the show. But essentially, the three of us have been working together now for 5 years, and I feel that very strongly that the three of us work extremely well together, and for the first time in that situation, I feel very comfortable with sharing insecurities or sharing certain concerns with John and Karl without, not retribution, but without
hard feelings.
Yeah, without hard feelings. And to add more people into the mix to that is very difficult. We tried something new this year using Rob and Dan Khanna with the BotConBeyond.com website. And that was an experimental thing. I think it went very well with minimal hitches, yet it's still a very nervous thing because it's just different aspects of trust, and that just doesn't happen overnight.
I was wondering, is there any way possible you could please have online registration with a form on your website instead of having to send in a big one?
We've thought about doing that. We just didn't have enough time to develop it technically this year. Yeah, we've thought about that, finding a better way to do it. So watch the website for updates. If we can get it figured out.
Right. You guys know, I was at BotCon last year, and you had 3 video rooms running 24 hours a day, going from everything from G1 to these machines. And I was wondering what happened to something like that this year, where we only have these boards and so forth. So maybe next year you bring the 24-hour.
Right, well, the BotCon last year was a little overwhelming. It was just very large. We tried. It was a concept we tried because we had the facility to do it. We didn't have the facility to do 3 rooms or 24 hours, and it didn't go as well as hoped because due to staffing, scheduling problems, which is probably most of my fault. But some of the tapes didn't get switched, and some of the tapes didn't get switched, and it didn't run as smoothly as I would have liked. So we decided to just do a normal video room through normal hours. And we're gonna try to. If we're gonna have one video room that's open 8 to 8 or 6 in the morning to something or other, I'll give serious thought to mixing it up, having some G1 stuff in there, some Japanese stuff, some old stuff, some new stuff, just as a general potpourri of cartoons in there. We'll try it.
It's tough to get up at 3 in the morning to change a tape.
Yeah. Yes.
And we're also going to get, obviously Robots in the Sky stuff next year. The Beast Wars specific stuff was because it was an anniversary of that. So we really wanted to focus on that in the video room based on the hours of operation. So.
Walking.
Me again, yeah. It's following on the heels of the, BotCon page updates and thanking Tengu and Dan for all their efforts. We kind of keep on getting stuff like the Ape-Link journals throughout the next year because I really love them. And the last 2 weeks we had absolutely nothing. I was just beside myself, absolutely nothing to do with my life.
No pressure, Glenn. Tell Walkie what he can do with his life.
Well, Walkie. We have been talking, and there are ideas in motion to expand certain type of journal activities for certain characters, but just not Ape-Link. Perhaps you might see a new exclusive point of view from a journal point of view. Thank you.
Two more questions. Who wants to be next?
Come on, 2 more questions. Someone's got to have.
Somebody raise your hand. There we go.
There we go. 1 question.
Okay, you're satisfied
They don't report sales to us, and actually that segues into a very good question comment too. We tried the island wall table thing this year, and I think it worked out pretty well. Hit some hiccups, but I think in general, based on other shows, I think we charge quite low pricing for tables to make for deals to get a lot of money. And I've even heard of some shows where they're actually, I think there's some arrangement where they have to give some percentage of sales to the host. We'll never do that, but at the same time, we don't want to know them. If they're happy and they sell and they make it worthwhile to come back next year to help you folks, the fans, to come in and get stuff to buy, that's good enough for us. So,
and we have the last one right
How do you guys feel today?
I feel fine.
Fine. Feel pretty good.
tomorrow, ready to drive back to Indiana on Tuesday, and then start BotCon 2002 on Wednesday. And I hope to see you all there.
Thank you for coming out. Have a great week. We have 15 minutes before that dealer room closes, so please keep that in mind. The dealer room will close at 5. People have to be out at 5 so the dealers can break down. Good luck.
And another thing, I still have you to pick up your artwork that we picked up. As far as I know, the BotCon registration desk, the art room is totally closed.
Registration desk has,
And the video room should still be going.
Congratulations. Thank you. Never have to hear the damn question again. Hey, I did not bring it up last year. I said I was, someone else did. I said I want to hit that.